Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, the Smiths in the Black Channel here, Ticker Talker, after a nice long weekend. Hopefully everybody had a nice weekend. I know I certainly did. But back to business, and what do they want to do to open the week? Hit them! Bring them in a little bit. So if we go here, take a look here at the SPY. You can see, remember here, last week we were outside week here up in the upper middle, right here. And the problem here is now that we're trying to take that out. Now, however, we're still disseminating the gap, and what I mean by that is you look at the 60 down here in the lower left, right? You're going to see they tried to take them down, stop them out, take out last week's lows, then tried to rally them back, didn't go, then tried to hit them again, didn't go. So the question is, how do we take out either side of this for the rest of the day, and then tomorrow too, depending on how we get out of here? The problem here is if you go to the monthly in the lower middle, right, you're going to see this. We're closer to being an outside bar to the downside than we are anything else, right? Now that can change, but that would have to change, right? So how that would change here is you can see this in the upper left. This day we took as a 2 down. We took out yesterday's lows. So the question is, which side of this tomorrow, right? Do you try and come back through the range, or do you continue to expand it? Because a lot of these things looking like it, although it's a bit of a mixed bag here to start off the week. So gap and sit, right? So here you can see the Qs, at least green on the day from where it opened here in the upper left, right? And still flirting with that week down, however. So here you can see once again the 60. Gap it down, take it out a little bit, stop them out, then rally back. Then I tried to rally up, but then to fail back down. But now middle of the range, right? So either side of that, and you can see once again here, closer in the monthly to being an outside month to the downside. We would prefer that. Let's bring them in. However, there's some pockets of strength. As we sit like here, there's two things you want to look for. Anybody taking out Friday's highs, right? And the reason you want to look for that is that anybody who stayed short over the weekend, they got what they wanted. The market got hit, but their stock's going up, right? They're going to need to cover, right? And so the little thing we call stick it to them. Another thing you want to look for is anybody taking out last week's or Friday's lows and staying down there, right? Because to a certain extent, they got something that they wanted. They got a rally back on the opening here to a certain extent. But if we start rolling back down, right? Anybody who bought today, guess what they do? They put stops on the low of the day. You ever know that guy? Yeah. Boom, you go after them. So let's take a look at a few here from the gap list. Jazz, all right? Jazz Farm just did this in the middle. The inside 60 to the upside, right there. You see that? Above 137.55. Nice two-bucker up in there. And the reason you'd be looking for this, it's taking out last month's highs. We already knew about it from a few weeks ago when I talked about it here on the inside week to the upside, right? Last week it took out last week's highs, right? And then came back in a little bit. Then we opened a new week and boom, off to the races. You can see this daily here, the way you gauge magnitude, and it did it pretty quickly, right? The outside day, the down, stop them out, boom, right back into the highs off the 60. We'll see if that sets up again. You've got WKHS. And here we go, and this is what I'm talking about. And you can see this in the lower middle, the inside month to the upside, to go take this out here. 22.90, which it did. Now we'll see if that keeps going. Because anybody short this thing, they got what they wanted. Market came in. Guess who's not going down? This. The outside day, it's a 3-2. Right? They're willing to pay up and sell down. And if they're willing to do that, they might do it again and bam, expand that thing. Right? And so it goes into the highs. So for the rest of the month, as long as it's there, it's good. We call this the Momo Hammer on the lower right. Right? And what that means is anybody who got short in here is expecting this thing to roll over and just got met with some buyers. Boom, into the high she goes. So we'll see how much more she's got there. You've got Roku. Here, Roku now inside on the 60, right? And still inside on the week, still red on the month, right? But you can see here on taking out Friday's highs. Now, it had to travel pretty far to do that. However, it did. Now we'll see what the results of this inside 60. You got Beyond the Meat going to the highs here. And Beyond the Meat would still be an inside week here in the upper middle. Right, still doji on the month there, but we know she moves around and certainly has this morning, and now trying to go to the highs after taking out Friday's highs. So anybody short this thing from Friday got what they wanted, market's down, and then boom, in they face. If we go to Disney, and Disney not totally cranking here, but you can see here, once again, inside on the 60 in the lower left. It's green on the month and going after last week's highs, and it took out Friday's highs and coming back into an old outside bar in the upper middle, you'll see, right? So we'll see how that goes. We had some pandemics here too. You Lyft. And Lyft comes firing out of the gate here too, going after last week's highs. But you can see this. higher highs, lower low broadening formation, and back through previous range 2-2, boom, like that. And that tells you to look for Uber here, and Uber also outside bar, then in 2 down, and boom, coming through. Still got some room. We want to take this out 34.74. Still watching these broader averages go sideways. So what you're going to see, you'll see some sort of tone change when you see these averages take out either side, because you can see the Dow Jones Diamonds completely drying up here after the opening here, right? So once it gets outside of this thing, all right, then we'll see a little bit of a tone change. We got NKLA. NKLA comes out firing once again here. If you get lower middle, inside month to the upside, and that's above 47.45. Boom, off she goes, right? And so you can see this. Once you have this green month like so, and then the week opens today, and the daily, you can see this as soon as it goes down and comes back here, right here, and goes green on the week and the day and the 60, the same time, above 46, boom, it's go time. You got full time frame count to the upside, and you've got an inside month to the upside. If we go to Peloton, and Peloton, once again, anything taken out Friday's highs right here. Boom. Thanks for playing. 84.97, trading 89.71. Not bad. We'll see if that sets up again. You also want to look for something like a Deckers. Anything that comes back to go outside day, right? So once this thing goes green here, right, you had some monthly problems. Once this thing starts going green back through here, we're looking to go outside day, which we did, all right? So it's pretty quick, but it is what it is. We also have some retail, believe it or not, DDS. Having a nice day, DDS. Check out here. Let me see if we get this going here. Weekly. Taking out last week's highs, taking out last month's highs. Came pretty quickly, but you can see right on the opening, this was an outside 3, 1, 2, boom. Now we'll see if that sets up again. Right now, these broader averages still going sideways, keeping an eye on them. We also have, like I said, more pandemics. Marriott. And Marriott trying to go outside day here. That's called a Rev Strat 1 bar because it was an inside day, right? Pokes down, boom. Now looking to go outside day, right? Green on all time frames. Here, we'll look to see if that sets up again. Still watching the broader averages go sideways here. You've got, believe it or not, Abercrombie. This was in the weekend video because it was up on Friday, right? It was up on Friday, and they came in this morning and said, boom, we're real. We're real. The market was tanking. This thing was going up, and that's why you want to look for that relative strength and performance. Camping World. Camping World, taking out last week's highs here in the upper middle here, above 33.69, and you can see this here. The outside bar, then the hammer, and boom, back through here. You're going to take this out, and if you're lucky, you get a little bit more out of it. Trying to go Momo hammer here on the 60, but we'll see. Little guy HRTX here coming in like so, and you just came out firing out of the gate. And the reason you can see something like this is you're going to notice this here. The inside bar hammer stopped them out. Right, and then boom, you come in today and boom, back through the previous range. You just took these guys out real quick, which also caused the reversal on the weekly, so we'll see if anything more comes of that. NKLA goes to the highs as I speak. We got Run here, and Run just poking up over last Friday's highs, so it had a nice move to do it, but we'll see if that sets up. Still sideways in the broader averages as I'm talking right now. You have General Motors. General Motors playing stick it to them as well. Outside day, inside day, boom, off she goes, right? And taking out last month's highs, last week's highs, right? So you can see this. As soon as it gapped up and comes down in here on the lower left, goes right here, there's your full time frame count to the upside, right there, over 32.47. So we'll see if there's anything more of that. Coming back here, CODX. And CODX just coming back to their previous range. Might have blown it for a while, but we'll see if they want to do it that. Again, watching these broader averages go sideways. Let's get to some downside because that's fun too. It was going to be crude, but crude comes back here. Crude had a rough opening here in the UCO, but now just kind of setting there. We'll see because you got stuff like NBR that we watch a lot that's going inside weak to the downside here in the upper middle. All right, so we can watch that for the rest of the week as long as it's below that. It's also trying to take out last month's lows. That's a problem, all right? If we take a look at Gap or Elbow, and Elbow, you can see here on the 60-minute, now it's inside on the 60. But once you get gapping up into here, whether you're green on the week or the month is irrelevant because you might have blown everybody out, right? So anybody who wants to be long now could be long. What's That's why you identify a crowded trade. So here, as soon as it breaks, this is a 2-2 reversal on the 60, below 41.11, and there you go. There's $2, and you might even have another one to come. Amgen having some problems here too. Start off the week. Remember, anybody taking out last week's lows and staying down there, something I want to know about, and that's Amgen right now. And it's a potential outside month, right? As far as we know, this thing's going outside month, and that would be a 1-bar ref strike because this is an inside month. Below 233.56, so you still got about $6 on that if they want to take care of business there. You've got VRTX, also in the bio, having some issues here. Fix that weekly for you, and there you go. Below last week's lows, Friday's lows staying down, and you can see this. It just went inside 60 to the downside. We'll see if that continues. Trying to retake out last month's lows. BIIB also in the bio, having some issues here too. And once again, here you're taking out last week's lows and you're staying down. You're an inside day to the downside continuation, all right? Then if you go to the monthly, you're here. Inside month, pokes up, boom, coming back to the previous range rev strat style. So potential problems there. Still watching to see any break on these broader averages. You also have the home gamers TTWO coming out, taking out last month's lows and coming back through. EA, you can watch these ATVI, all the same. You see that? And that's where you get your subgroup. ATVI to a lesser extent, but we'll see. We've got Dollar Tree in the retail also. Rev strat week to the downside. Inside, then goes up, hammer, boom, and taking this stuff out. Not totally getting killed, but still has my attention. You got VeriSign, VRSN here. And VeriSign coming down a little bit. Let's see how that daily looks here. There we go. There we go. And that's getting the smack down here. And you can see that gives us the taking out last month's lows. The matter is, does it stay down there weekly? Staying below this range will be key, so we'll see if this gives us another inside 60 to go after there. Marriott trying to go the highs as I speak. You also have KLAC, 10 core. Used to be 10 core, and you can see that gaps down and stays down for right now, and it's below last week's lows. It's a reversal on the month, all right, and staying red on the day, so that's got my attention there. Wingstop, after last week. Wingstop, look at this. Nice puke there, nice reversal on the month, right? And then you get your inside 60, take it right down. Now we'll see if that sets up again too. You've got Goldman Sachs. And Goldman Sachs trying to take out last week's lows. Not doing too much, still handily inside month, but that gets my attention. Friday and last week's lows gets my attention to start off. Right now it's trying to fight back off to a 60. We'll see what comes of that. You got AMBA, AMBA. Here. AMBA is an inside day to the downside here in the upper left, right? And so that triggers the 2-2 week reversal here. It's also red on the month and coming down through here. All right, and so that's potentially an outside month, so that still gets my attention. All right, Marriott going to the highs as I speak. All right, coming up on the end of the show here, but if you can take a look at some of these things over here, you got ACMR. Oops, ACMR, and this on the hit list because 2-2 reversal on the month, already on the hit list, and then boom, back down to the lows, having all sorts of trouble here. You can keep an eye on that. Caesars was actually coming up here a bit. We'll see if that's staying there. Caesars taking out last week's highs, last month's highs. Right now, an inside 60 pokes up a little bit. We'll see if that comes up. But like I said, there's going to be a tone change when all of these broader averages do something. Right now, they're going every which way, and they're just kind of feeling each other out. We have a downward bias, so we'd like to see them hit these things. But that's why we play the game. So we have these things that are set up on the long side and these things that are set up on the short side. And once they start breaking, we're going to know what to do. GILD goes to the lows. More bios having problems right now below last week's lows. And you can see I could go on all day about this stuff because it's in everything all the time. And I make a video every weekend, and tonight's the Strat Attack. And all my videos are free at Smith in the Black channel here at Ticker Talker, so have at it. And that's going to do it for today. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Let's have another great week. I'm Rob Smith of Smith in the Black channel here at Ticker Talker with Strat Time Report.